And we have a busy briefing this morning, so we're going to get right to it. First of all, no changes to the National Terrorism Advisory System overnight. A snapshot of the region. You see the updated numbers from the unaccompanied children as of Monday. No declaration updates to talk about this morning, no damage assessments, and no fire management requests. As we go over the Geo platform this morning, you'll see lots of colors on the map. Marty's going to talk about the weather in a minute, but in the meantime, we'll give you a rundown of what's been happening overnight. First of all, no changes to the status of the state EOCs in New Mexico, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Oklahoma, Texas, and the region are all at level 3. Texas went to level 3 as of 7 o'clock this morning. No changes to the status of our IMAPs. And now, as we zoom in a little bit, first of all, we'll take a look at Oklahoma. The tornadoes, these are the estimated paths. We do have 2 shelters still open and a total of 78 occupants in that. Oklahoma still has 6,500 power outages. Those are trending down in Oklahoma. And now we'll go over and look at North Texas. Here in North Texas, like I say, they are state EOC went to level 3 as of 7 o'clock this morning. Overnight, we did have a train derailment up here by Valley View. 4 engines, 10 cars, and about 18,000 gallons of fuel were spilled there. No hazmat that we know of. Power outages in North Texas are 9,600, almost 9,700 at this time, and those are pretty steady right now. Also, here in Denton, we did have a lightning-caused oil well fire here just out near I-35. So now we'll go back to the main map and turn it over to Marty to talk about the weather.
Okay, thanks a lot. What we're seeing right now is some convection beginning to develop between Abilene and San Angelo. This may be sort of the precursor to what may become severe weather later today, further to the east as this stuff moves to the east. And we're seeing some activity across the western Texas, just southwest of Lubbock. Again, when getting convection early in the morning like this, it's pretty unusual. You don't see this every day, so that means our atmosphere is pretty unstable just getting out. We have a couple of damage surveys going on today. One will be in southeastern Wise County and in the Sanger area. Okay, on to the next slide. Our tropics are active for this early May. We have a subtropical storm, Anna, which will be pretty much holding stationary and could become a full-fledged tropical storm over the next, throughout the weekend or the next 48 hours or so. And this system will be moving into the Carolinas and then shifting to the northeast. No impact at this time to Region 6. Next slide. Okay, here's our threat matrix for Region 6. And it's busy. We have a lot going on. Severe storms, we have a moderate risk across south central Oklahoma and North Texas, and an enhanced and slight risk areas to the southwest of it. Flash flooding, heavy rain, pretty big deal. We've had reports in Texas, North Texas, last night of lots of flash flooding related impacts. And that will continue pretty much through the weekend as this system remains where it is in place, just generating storms after storms each evening. Another moderate risk for Saturday. And that will be in central and western Oklahoma, and a slight to enhanced risk across northwest and north central and southwest Texas. Sunday, the risk areas shift toward the east, including Arkansas and portions of northwest Louisiana. And we may have a flooding risk across the Metroplex and into north central Texas, so be advised of that. And then Monday, the system continues to move east, and even on Tuesday, seems like there's a remnant boundary that'll set up across east to southeast Texas, bringing enhanced rainfall continuing across those areas. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's a graphical of what the matrix was sort of displaying. Again, these, like I've said earlier in the past couple briefings, these graphics, these areas change. Seems like every 12 hours it's updated and moved. So pretty much if you live in Oklahoma, along the Red River Valley of North Texas, you're under the gun today, tomorrow for sure, and areas across central Texas down to southwest toward the Big Bend area. Also slight risk of severe thunderstorms. And be advised of that, and continue to monitor, for updates. And also day 2 and 3, continuing into the weekend, you can see that the risk area shifts east with damaging wind, hail, and possible tornadoes associated with this system. Okay, the next slide. Our drought monitor. Again, here's an image. We have had an update. There's been D3, D4 drought conditions across the western Red River Valley, and we're seeing that the potential for storms will help to mitigate that. But again, it's a long-term drought, and it'll take a lot of rainfall to really bring that down. But it's getting beneficial rains. Problem is, a lot of it's just becoming flash flood rains due to the fact that the ground soil is really hard right now and dry. So it's going to be a prolonged effort, but hopefully the system will put a dent in that. Okay, the next slide. Space weather concerns, none at this time. Maybe some radio blackouts in the poles, but otherwise not much on the image here on the sun. And that's all I have. So any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those in the chat window. If you're on the phone, just ask your question. While you're doing that, we'll take a look at the events going on around the region today. And a pop quiz this morning. This thunderstorm is the same as any other storm. Who wants to guess it down? And it is indeed false, Greg. Defined as a severe storm that can produce a tornado. Any other questions this morning? I would not be flying my airplane through that cloud bank. Alright, see no one else typing in the chat window, hear nothing on the phone. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.